we are going to be learning about Bodmas. Well, what is Bodmas? Bodmas is an acronym which we use in numeracy to help us remember the order to do operations when more than one of these are in a calculation. So what do the letters of Bodmas stand for? The B stands for brackets. So in a calculation, we might see something like this inside brackets. That means we would do the 3 add 2 first to give us 5 when we were doing that in our calculation. Next, the O stands for order. An order might be the square root of a number. For example, the square root of 9 would be 3 because 3 times 3 is 9, or it could be the opposite. It could be a square or cube of a number. So for example, 2 cubed would be 2 times 2 times 2, which would give me 8. The D stands for division. The M stands for multiplication. The A stands for addition. And the S stands for subtraction. It's important to remember that our division and multiplication are equally as important as one another, and so are our addition and subtraction. So we always multiply and divide before we add and subtract. Let's have a look at some examples to get us started. My first calculation I'm going to look at today is 3 times, and in brackets we've got a 6 plus 5. Okay, I am going to think about the order of my operations. So our B stands for brackets. We have some brackets here, so we're going to solve those first. I like to solve Bodmas calculations step by step so that it's really clear what I've done, and then if I make a mistake I can easily find it. So my equals is going to go underneath, and my 3 times stays exactly where it is. It's not moving at the moment. Then I'm going to do 6 add 5, which I know is 11. Then finally I can solve for the answer. So 3 times 11 is 33. The next calculation I'm going to have a look at today is 2 times, and in brackets I've got a 9 take away 3, and then it's divided by 2 squared. Right, let's think about my Bodmas. What am I going to do first? My B stands for brackets, and I have some brackets here, so I'm going to do those first. Everything else in my calculation is going to stay in the same place. So 2 times 9 take away 3 is 6, and then divided by 2 squared. Next, I am going to do my order. So that is this part here, my 2 squared, and if I square a number, I simply multiply it by itself. So everything else is going to stay in the same place. 2 times 6 divided by, and our 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. Now, next, in our Bodmas, we've done our brackets, we've done our order. Next we have our divide and our multiply. Now, I said earlier, those are of equal importance, and in this calculation I can see both symbols. So how do I know which one to do first? It's really quite easy. We would just do it the order we would read, so from left to right. So first of all, I am going to do my 2 times 6, which is 12, and then divided by 4. And then finally, I know my final answer, 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I've set it out, it's nice and clear, so we can see what we've done in each step, and we would be able to notice if I had made any mistakes really easily. I'm going to do one more example today, which is going to be a little bit tricky. So let's have a look. We are going to do 15 divided by, in brackets, 2 plus 3, close the brackets, add 10, take away 2. Okay, first letter of Bodmas, our B, our brackets. We will solve those. Everything else is going to stay in the same place. So 15 divided by 2 plus 3 is 5. Then we're just going to leave our plus 10 and our takeaway 2 in the same place. Next, for order, I don't have any orders in this calculation. So I'm going to move on to divide and multiply. So I can see I have a division in here, so that's the next thing I'm going to do. So 15 divided by 5 is 3, and then I'm just going to leave everything else in the same place. And then finally we add and subtract. We know, like our multiply and divide, add and subtract are of equal importance. So therefore, like we did in the last example, we are just going to do them in order from left to right. So 3 add 10 is 13, take away 2, and 13 take away 2 leaves us with 11. So this is how we are going to solve our calculations that involve more than one operation. So brackets, order, multiply, divide, add and subtract. Let's remember our Bodmas. And for one more reminder, brackets, order, divide, multiply, add and subtract is Bodmas. I hope you have all learned something new today. Thank you ever so much for joining me with Learning with Mrs. P. As always, feel free to leave me a comment in the section below. Thank you, bye-bye.